Well, if you think my office looks a little different than uh, it did the other day, you're right. My wife and I are taking a few days off to here in Wisconsin to look at the fall colors that God has created and remind us of serving in Derby, Vermont for 2 years as interim pastor there. This is really an exciting course for me, and I just trust that you gain as much from it as I have gained as I have written the course and now have taught it for a few times. I want to call your attention to the fact that I have posted 8 announcements plus my introductory video, and you can learn about me from that as well as from the instructor information in the upper left-hand corner of Blackboard, plus I posted on discussion board. So you got to get a number of interesting insights to who I am and what I've done and how God has worked in our lives. I wanted to especially call your attention to the document that I have called Course Goals, which lists at the top the course goals and then week by week underneath that the individual goals for each week. I encourage you to keep that in front of you. Yes, they are posted in the Blackboard for each week, but I think sometimes we get so occupied focusing on a tree, shall we say, we miss seeing the forest. So that's a major asset. I also want to tell you that Blackboard has the weekly announcements. There are some discrepancies in what it says in the printed schedule. So always pay attention to the Blackboard assignment. I'll come back to that. In the syllabus, on page 3, I would like to call your attention to the grade weighting for the course, especially 3 items. Number 1, class participation, and you see the subpoint under that, the content reports. That means reading the assigned reading and listening to the assigned videos. That is 4 points per week. Secondly, discussion boards. 8 discussion boards at 20 points each. Now look in the far right column and you'll see that says 35% of your final grade. Discussion boards and doing the reading and listening are crucial to success in the course. I can't underline that enough, unless I would violate privacy and tell you some names of some students who either failed the course or nearly failed the course because they didn't consider this important. I will be strictly abiding by the MDL criteria for discussion boards. If you don't post your initial post by Friday night, 11:59 Chicago time, you will get 0 for that discussion board. That is Moody's late policy, which is in one of the announcements. The other part of that is that your initial post is to have 300 words and address the subject. And by Monday night, you are to interact with 2 other peers about their initial post, and those interactions are to be minimally 100 words, and they're to move beyond nice post, enjoyed reading. It's to interact, to ask questions, to probe, to stimulate broader thinking as we work our way through this material. All of your assignments are to be posted in MLA formatting with a works cited page unless you're told otherwise. There's an announcement, a couple of announcements about MLA formatting, and they are important for you to consider. Also in the upper left-hand corner of Blackboard is a area that you can click on syllabus and schedule. Also there, when you click on that, you'll find bibliography. In that bibliography, I have listed for most weeks additional information if you wanted to pursue the topic that is there. There are also some assignments in the weekly assignments that will say this is required and then this is optional, but it is helpful for you to just have that extra resource ready for you. Now, week 1, reading and listening. We have the first 4 chapters of Hull's book. This is a great book, and I hope that you let it sink in to you and impact you. And then I have a 10-minute video, and then we have 2 video clips by President Paul Nyquist from Moody to guide us through the concept of where in the world is integrity. And then I have some additional resources there for you. Of course, you're to introduce yourself and turn in your content report, and then your integrity paper is to be presented by Monday evening. The model of integrity is an important concept, and I'm looking for it right now, but I don't find it. But it's somebody that you have worked with, and you have observed them modeling integrity or failing to model integrity, and so as a consequence, it's a very practical, related to life concept in this world that is so loose on living a life of integrity. Also in that material, you are to look ahead to the course bibliography. I mean, the week 8. Week 8 is an important passage to sum up everything, and for us to plan ahead. Now, that's my philosophy of life. That may not be yours, but I can tell you it will be a lot easier if you plan ahead, start a document, and when you come across a valuable lesson that you have learned or are in the process of learning, then jot it down. For instance, in this week reading about Hull, you might say, oh, that's something I need to pay attention to, or a lesson I need to learn. And so you go back to this week 8 document that you're creating on your computer and say, check out Hull on page, well, let's say 39, and the quote that I've marked. Then when you get to week 8, it's going to be so much simpler for you to get that document done, rather than having to go through every week and figure out, oh, that video was good. I remember something he said, but I can't remember what it was. So just a little coaching on my side, and as we work on those, that assignment, there are 4 items, and I thought I wrote them down, but I don't have them down. In the syllabus, it only has 3, but it should have 4. And I'm not finding it. I know where it is. Where it says course details on pages 5 to 8. For week 1, it does not include number 4, provide 2 insights you gained from this week's resources. So this is the first example of where it is not correct in the printed syllabus. The left-hand side of Blackboard is accurate. So follow that left-hand side and complete your paper that way. So, again, I just want to say, consider reading that assignment for week 8 and start a blank document that you can begin to work on some details. Hey, God bless you. I'm really looking forward to learning with you as we study together over the coming weeks. It's going to be an exciting journey, and the leadership principles that we are working on will apply to any kind of ministry setting or parachurch ministry setting or any size congregation. Yes, different things might need to be tweaked a little bit. be a rewarding journey as we work together. God bless you. Have a great week.